Okay, so today's video is going to be all about my second trimester. So like food cravings, baby movements, an update on my morning sickness, and just anything else that I can remember about my second trimester, because today is officially my last day in my second trimester. I'll be entering my third trimester tomorrow, which is really exciting because it seems like it's going fast but slow at the same time. So yeah, so this trimester, let's see, I'm trying to remember back to the beginning of it. So my morning sickness eased up a little bit. So I had maybe like 1 or 2 months where like I didn't throw up at all, but now my morning sickness is coming back, and I kind of expect that because that's what happened in my previous pregnancies. Like first trimester hit really hard, and then also the last trimester I kind of get hit with it again. So I have been noticing that, unfortunately. So I do have nausea most days, and I'm not throwing up every day like I was in the beginning, but I would say like once a week. And the nausea really hits me like around lunchtime. Like, so like when I get up from my nap, I don't know if it's just, I don't know why really. I'm not really a lunch person, but obviously I know I need to eat lunch because I haven't eaten anything since breakfast, or you know, after breakfast sometimes I have a morning snack right before I go to bed. But yeah, after nap for lunchtime is really when it hits me, and if I don't eat something fast enough, I may throw up. Or if I eat something that, you know, even if I do eat lunch and it's something that the baby doesn't like, then I will throw up also again. So yes, that's just been, you know, I kind of expected by now, but at least I can say it's not as bad as it was in the beginning, so that is great. I have been noticing a lot of dizzying spells. So I get sometimes I get like really overheated, and then I can like feel my heart racing, and then I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So it usually happens like really quickly. I have not passed out yet, and I'm just, you know, hoping and praying that I don't. But I do remember this happening, not so much for my first pregnancy. I don't remember really having like these dizzy periods or whatever. Definitely for my second, I had it. Like one time I took me and my daughter out shoe shopping, and we were in the mall. We went to Cherry Hill Mall, which for me is a big it's a little overwhelming because it's a big huge mall, it's a lot of people, and it might even been around like this time of year, so like around the holiday season. But anyway, I took her to the mall, and I could feel myself like about to pass out. So I called my mom, and I can't remember if she was at the mall or she was somewhere close. And she just told me, you know, sit down on the floor, see if you can get something to drink, and, you know, just stay there till I get there. And like I said, I had my daughter with me. She was like 18 months at the time, or 1.5, something like that. So that's what I had to do. I had to sit down, you know, so I wouldn't pass out in the store. In the middle of the store, it was Payless actually. I was going to get her some shoes, and I had one of those. I also recently had one at church, and so church is just a lot of work, especially if I stay all day, which is what I try to do, but I go every other week, and it's just a lot. And I almost passed out, so I had to like run to the back where they have this holding room where they have the medical unit, and just like take my hat off and my scarf off. And then my sister, she came and took my shoes off because she was like, that's the quickest way to get cool, because I just was feeling so hot, and like if I don't lay down right now, I'm gonna pass out, and it's gonna be a big deal. My blood pressure was okay. Actually, it was like lower than normal, or like, you know, low for me, I guess. And which is interesting because I do have a history of preeclampsia, but when I'm pregnant, my blood pressure for the most time is stable, or sometimes it's low, and I think that also contributes to me having those, you know, like feeling like I have to faint. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep an eye on it. Which brings me to my next thing is coffee. So in the beginning of this pregnancy, the baby would not let me drink coffee at all. It made me sick every time I tried to drink it. And then in the beginning of this trimester, I could drink cold coffee, but I still couldn't drink it like every day like I'm used to drinking coffee, because like I said, I love my coffee. I drink it every day, and sometimes, you know, not pregnant, I can drink it like 2 times a day. So like hot in the morning with my breakfast, and then like, you know, cold coffee in the afternoon if I still need a extra pick-me-up. So anyway, I was doing the iced coffee like maybe 3 times a week. And if I'm honest, the baby still really does not like coffee, but I was trying to force the issue because I love coffee. And I did not want to give up that, you know, that habit. It's a part of my day. It makes me feel happy, and it's just, but anywho, my sister said, you know, that coffee for her makes her feel really faint, like it really makes her feel like it's going to make her pass out too. So then I was like, maybe she's right, but I wanted to try it out for myself to see, you know, if I was having those dizzying spells on the days that I drank coffee. So I did have, for my birthday, I went away for my birthday, and I went to this really nice, elegant breakfast place, and I had some iced coffee, but it was an Italian shop, so you know, it was like the best of the best. It was really strong, and instantly I started to feel bad. Mind you, I still drank all the coffee, which I should not have. I drank all the coffee. I ate my breakfast. I had even like a little croissant with it, and I thought I was okay. So I drank the whole coffee, and then I went to the mall because there were some things I wanted to check out, and I was, you know, just gonna walk around, do some window shopping or whatever. But once I got to the mall, to the parking lot, I could not get out the car because I could feel myself, like my heart was racing again, and I could feel like I was gonna pass out. I was like, if I get out this car and start walking around, I already know it's gonna be bad, and I'm, you know, hours away from my family. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit here until it subsides. And it took like, I sat in the car for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, almost an hour. So yeah, so that day I was like, no more coffee. I'm pretty sure it's the coffee that's, you know, at least adding to this problem for me. I did try decaf coffee, I think. Might have been the next day. Okay, yeah, so I had decaf coffee the next day at a diner when we went to breakfast, and it seemed to do okay, but still, I was like, no, I probably just gotta cut out coffee completely. So that is what I'm doing for right now. It's been like a week and I'm really not happy about it at all, but I'm like, you know, my health and the baby's health over coffee. So the first thing I want after labor is some coffee, which is pretty much what happened last time, but you know, whatever, it's just, I'm over it. But a good substitute that I have found, at least for me, that I like in place of coffee has been chai, but cold, like an iced chai, cold chai from Wawa, or where else did I get it from? There's also like, I think it's Bot House that sells like the individual ones, like in the smoothie section or whatever. What also makes it a good vanilla chai? Dunkin' Donuts used to make a good vanilla chai, but they don't anymore. Oh, Starbucks has my favorite vanilla chai. So that's what I have to go for now because coffee is out. So I'm just trying not to drink. I'm trying not to drink caffeinated things at all, period, because in my last video, if you saw my first trimester recap, I did say that, you know, soda helped with my morning sickness, but towards the end of my first trimester, and definitely for this whole trimester, whenever I drink soda, it makes me sick. I think it's just too many bubbles or something, I don't know, which is kind of weird because for my previous pregnancy, soda helped me throughout the whole pregnancy with the morning sickness. This time it helped for like a month or two. Now it's not helping at all. So I have not had soda, and I'm just trying not to drink things with caffeine, which I do want to mention because I have gotten some questions about caffeine during pregnancy, or, you know, like drinking coffee during pregnancy. It is okay to drink coffee during pregnancy. I think you can have up to 300, it may be 250 milligrams to 300 milligrams a day, and that's equivalent to about 2 6 ounce to 8 ounces of 2 cups of coffee. So 6 to 8 ounces of coffee. But again, you need to keep in mind, if you are also drinking soda, that adds to your caffeine, you know, intake. And if you are also, you know, like eating chocolate. So yes, you can drink coffee safely while you're pregnant. But if you're having an issue with coffee like I am, you can eliminate it. You can go for decaf, you know, decaf teas also. But yeah, this is out for me for now. So while we're on the subject of beverages, so water, for my first trimester, I could not drink it. And I don't think I mentioned it in that video because I might have filmed that video before it started to become an issue for me. But it's so funny because I had a client, my last client actually, that gave birth, and she was telling me when we did one of her prenatal visits that, you know, water was making her nauseous. And I didn't say anything to her like, you know, yeah, right. But in my head, I'm thinking, that don't make no sense. How does water make you nauseous? But let me tell you, whenever I tried to drink water, I instantly threw it up. And when I say instantly, like I could barely gulp it down and I was throwing up. And that's what kind of led to me being so dehydrated in my first trimester. And going into this trimester, because I could not drink water straight. I don't know if it's just because it's flavorless or whatever. So I had to start drinking like a lot of teas, and teas is still like my go-to drink even now. So I love a good iced tea. But I also discovered this drink called Body Armor, and I just really bought a lot of those. And again, I had to have it like really, really cold, but it was good and it hydrated me. So it's like half water, half coconut water, and like electrolytes and all of that stuff. So if you're one of those people who also water makes you really sick or it adds to your nausea, I recommend you trying to find something that replaces that fluid for you, but doesn't have, you know, like too many calories or too many additives. Even Gatorade, if you're a fan of Gatorade. I personally hate Gatorade, so I don't like that. But yeah, I had to eliminate water for a little while, which I know sounds crazy, but it was making me throw up. And now I am able to drink more water than I was able to drink. So, but it has to be like ice cold, like really, really cold. And I can get it down a little bit better now, but still I try my best to stay hydrated also with the foods that I eat. So, you know, fruits and vegetables and things like that. What else? Food cravings. Okay, so I'm not sure if I mentioned food cravings in the last video, but my food cravings still are mostly cold, sweet things. So anything that's cold, anything that's sweet, I love. So I still love my salads. I still love my fruits, especially grapes. Those are like the best because they're like the coldest and the sweetest. I've been liking pears a lot, apples, you know, all kinds of the different varieties of apples. Watermelon, I did like in my first trimester, but that started to make me sick too, so I haven't eaten that at all this trimester. So yeah, but that's another good one if you're trying to keep up with your hydration. Watermelon definitely is great because that's more than like 50% water. Yeah, and I also have been craving ham like a lot, which is one of my big cravings from my last two previous pregnancies, which kind of makes me think that I'm having a boy because I loved ham with them also. I have been buying lunch meat ham. Now I know that's a no-no for pregnant women because lunch meat, deli meat has, it can have the potential to, you know, carry foodborne illnesses. So they recommend that we don't eat lunch meat, and if you do, to heat it up. Now, I cannot say that I heat it up all the time though when I make a sandwich, like I just had one. But I do try to limit myself with the ham because, again, I have a history of preeclampsia, and I don't want that to, you know, I don't want what I'm eating to add to that or to make it an issue for this pregnancy. But yes, that is like that's my number 2 craving. So I love a good ham sandwich. That's really the only deli meat that I can think of that I just feel like I gotta have. Not really a fan of turkey too much. Like sometimes a turkey BLT, that sounds really good right now. Sometimes I can have like some turkey. But yeah, it's usually ham. I love ham. But again, I really try to limit it. Okay, so I am foregoing the glucose testing, or the traditional way that they do the glucose testing. So that's usually where you go in to like LabCorp, LabQuest, wherever you get your blood drawn. They'll draw your blood, you drink the juice in about a 5-minute period, and then they'll draw your blood again just to see how quickly or how slowly your sugar levels rise. And decrease. So I'm not doing that this time, and it's not that I had an issue with any of my pregnancies. I really didn't, and I actually do like the drink that they give you. Every time that I've had it, it's been really cold and it's been great. But this time I plan on doing the blood glucose testing with the finger pricks. So I have my meter over there, and my mom showed me how to use it. And so basically I will be pricking myself 4 times a day, taking my blood sugar for 2 weeks. Now, I'm having a little bit of an issue because I don't have all of the equipment that I need for the 2 weeks, but I do have an appointment this week, so I'll talk to my doctor about it again, and we'll see if we can get the rest of the equipment. But if push comes to shove and I can't get the rest to finish the whole entire 2 weeks out, then I'll just use what I have. I think I have enough for a week. I don't know, we'll see. But yes, I'm doing that not because, like I said, I had an issue, but just because I want to get that experience, so that way if I have clients that do or are diagnosed with gestational diabetes, I can tell them, hey, this is how I did it, and I can help them with that. Now, my mom is an RN, so she helps me up with a lot of the medical stuff that I just, don't know. Like, how do you use this? It has all these pieces and lancets and I'm like, it's just too much. But you know, she's gonna help me with that. She showed me how to do it, and hopefully I get all the equipment and I can do the full 2 weeks. But if not, I'll use what I have and we'll do a baseline from there, and then they'll let me know, you know, based on my numbers throughout the 2 weeks if I have gestational diabetes, which I've never had it before. So I'm hoping and praying this time that I don't have it. And then we will go from there. So if you would like to see a video on that, of me like doing that or going through that process, just leave a comment down below and let me know, and I can do that. And the last thing that I do want to mention for this video is baby movement. So I have been feeling the baby movement pretty regularly since about, I'm gonna say weeks 14 to 16, kind of regular. I felt movements before then because I know now what to look for. And initially it feels like, I don't know how to describe. Initially it feels like maybe like gas rumbling in your stomach, or like, I don't know, like popcorn popping in your stomach, or bubbles popping. Some women say it feels like that. So that's what those first initial movements feel like. Now they're a little bit more invasive. And this baby, either the baby's really low or I don't know, but this baby trying to make me pee on myself. Like, I feel like they have it out for me. I know some women struggle with incontinence during pregnancy, and especially after postpartum, when your pelvic floor, you know, has just been through the whole labor and delivery process, whether it's a vaginal birth or a C-section. It can take a while for those things to go back to normal. I have never peed on myself during a pregnancy yet. This baby, you know what I mean? It's just really... And sometimes it happens when I'm like laughing and the baby would kick me down there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to the bathroom right now before I embarrass myself. So yes, that has been a thing. The movements still aren't like terrible yet, but again, today I'm 27 weeks and 6 days, so I know it's gonna get there. And this baby's really, really active. Usually after I eat, so about like 30 minutes or so after I eat, and definitely when I get into bed. Like when I get into bed at nighttime, the baby is just in there just going to town. And sometimes it keeps me from going to sleep or it wakes me up. But you know, I do know it's all part of the process. And obviously fetal movement is good if you're feeling it. I am going to be doing a video on how to do kick counts, because now that I'm in my 3rd trimester, that is something that's recommended that you do every single day, just to make sure that once you know your baby's patterns of movement, so like their wake periods and their sleep periods, because they do have wake and sleep periods kind of like a newborn. So they're asleep for most of the day, and it's really because we're walking around, we're moving, we may be working or driving or whatever, so our movements keep the baby asleep. And that's why you'll notice when you sit down, that's when you get a lot of movement, or when you lay down, you get a lot of movement, because you don't notice it that much during the day because you're keeping the baby asleep. But anyway, I'm planning on doing a video on kick counts because it's super important that you are feeling regular fetal movement once you know your baby's patterns. So yes, that's been great. I'm trying to see if I have left out anything. I have a couple more videos coming that I have planned. So my labor and how I prepare for labor and delivery, I have that video that I want to do, and also what's in my hospital bag, if you would like to see that video. But spoiler, it's not that much stuff, because I have learned since my first birth that you really don't need to bring that much stuff. So if you would like to see that video, I can do that. And there's one other video that I know I want to do. I want to do baby names that I like but I won't be using, because I thought that's a fun video to do and I like watching those ones. And there's something else. A gender prediction video, because I have my predictions for what this baby is based on my pregnancy so far, and based on some old midwives' tales. So I'm going to go through some of them and see what lines up, what matches with boy gender and what matches with girl gender, and we'll see what you all think or what they say that I'm having. But yeah, I think that's all for this video. I am feeling, I would say, like 10 times better than I was in my first trimester, but I know it's winding down. It's winding down, and some of those symptoms are starting to come back. So stay tuned for those videos that I have coming out, and I will be doing a 3rd trimester recap, which I hope that I can film before I actually have the baby. But if not, you know, I'll just try to make note of everything that goes on in my 3rd trimester. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!